Hey y'all, it's Amy and welcome to Become Your Own Favorite Chef. So I've recently discovered that my ultimate favorite meal to eat out now are these sweet tamale corn cakes from Cheesecake Factory. If you haven't had them before, they're absolutely to die for. Full of different textures and flavors and sweet and spicy. And it's so good. So as soon as I tasted these, I knew I had to try to come home and recreate them myself. And I've done that. I'm sharing the recipe with you today. Let's get started. You'll be happy to know that tamales are really easy to make. We're not going to use corn husks like they normally use for real authentic tamales. We're going to make tamale cakes, but we're still going to use the same ingredients you would with a basic tamale. First thing, since these are sweet corn tamales, I have gotten a cup of whole kernel frozen corn. I like frozen just because it's a little fresher than the canned, but if you don't have that, you can use canned corn. Just drain it first. We're going to puree this so it makes a really nice sweet corn puree in a food processor. Perfect. It doesn't have to be super fine. A coarse puree is perfect. Alright, once we've got the corn puree, let's make our tamale mix. So we're going to put this in a bowl. To this corn, we're going to add 1 full stick or 1/2 cup of melted butter. To make it extra sweet, 3 tablespoons of sugar. Then the important part, you need masa. Masa is the word for dough in Spanish, but it's something like cornmeal, but it's made from ground hominy, and we use this in a lot of Latin foods, like tortillas, arepas, and tamales. So before we add the flour, let's give this a quick stir. Make sure all of our liquids are well incorporated. Looks good. So let's add 1/2 cup of the masa. And then we need just 2 tablespoons of regular all-purpose flour. A pinch of salt. And mix this all up. Depending on how liquidy your corn was, you might have to add just a little bit more flour. Like right now, that just kind of falls apart. I want it to be able to make into cake patties, so I'm going to add another tablespoon of flour. And that should help thicken it up. Yeah, that's better. Now to make it really corny, we're going to add another about 1/2 cup of whole kernel corn. This way, I'm trying to keep all the liquid out of it. This way, when you bite into these tamale cakes, you do get full pieces of corn, which is a really nice variation on the texture. Okay. Give it one more stir. And that's as simple as tamale mix is. Now there's 2 ways you can cook these. We can make little cakes out of them and fry them in oil. Really good that way, but I am trying to cook a little healthier, so I'm going to bake mine in the oven. I've got my oven preheated to 400 degrees, and we'll make these into cakes and cook them. Alright, we're taking our tamale batter and making cakes. You can make them as big or small as you like. For this size, we need our oven at 400 degrees, and I'm going to cook it for about 40 minutes. And about halfway through, I'm going to flip them over so they brown evenly on both sides. Alright, there's lots of ways you can dress these cakes up, but traditionally at Cheesecake Factory they have this like tomatillo cilantro cream sauce. It tastes delicious. They've also got this spicy type mayonnaise, and then a good tomato salsa, and then a little avocado and cilantro on the top. So I'll show you how to do a few of those things. I'm going to make this sauce while our tamale cakes are cooking in the oven. And what we need are 3 medium to large tomatillos. I've chopped them up roughly because we're going to put these in a food processor. It doesn't have to be perfect. We need a half of a small yellow onion. This is chopped mild green chilies. I actually just bought the can. This is half a cup or 4 ounces. We also need 1 teaspoon of garlic. Depending on how much you like cilantro, I say a handful of fresh cilantro. About half a cup. If you chopped it, it would be like 3 tablespoons. And finally, we need 1½ teaspoons of cumin. This is the basis of how we would make a salsa verde or a green salsa if you ever had that at a Mexican restaurant. What I'm going to do is mix these up first. Okay, you want to puree that until it's very fine. Go ahead and give it a taste. Oh yeah, that's fresh. I can definitely taste the cilantro. It's got a little kick from those tomatillos, but it's not really spicy. Add some salt and pepper if it needs it, really up to you and your taste. And then we'll move on to the next step where we heat it up and add a little bit of cream to make it a good base to lay our tamale cakes on. Okay, right before you serve your tamale cakes, I want you to go ahead and heat our tomatillo and cilantro sauce. Once it's heated through, I'm going to add about a half a cup of cream. Make this our cream sauce. Stir it up, and we have a perfect complement to our sweet tamale cakes. 2 more elements that the Cheesecake Factory utilizes on their sweet corn tamale cakes that I will utilize as well is some type of spicy sauce. And all you have to do is take the following ingredients, mix them up, and voila. The other thing, I've already made a video on, this is a corn, black bean, and tomato salsa. It's very refreshing, light, delicious. And if you make these 2 things as well as our tomatillo and cilantro cream sauce, those are going to all complement those tamale cakes just perfectly. It's time! Tamale cakes are done. They cooked for 40 minutes in the oven at 400 degrees. And I've got our 3 sauces that we've made. Again, you do not have to make the same sauces as me. You can do anything you want with them. Alright, put what you like on them. But this is exactly what I like. And it's very similar to what the Cheesecake Factory does. So first we're going to take our heated up tomatillo and cilantro cream sauce, and that's going to be our bed for our tamale cakes. So nice little bed there. I'm going to take one of the tamale cakes over here. Oh my goodness, that smells so good. Then I'm going to add a little bit of this black bean and corn salsa. And we're just going to drizzle this spicy remoulade on the top. You could put a dollop of sour cream if you like. And then I like to finish mine off with a little fresh cilantro. Do you see how pretty that is? Tastes even better, I promise. So let me test it. Make sure it really is as good as the Cheesecake Factory's. Oh my gosh, it's crunchy. Make sure you get a little bit of the salsa and the sauces. I can die having one. Oh, that's the best thing ever. That's better than Cheesecake Factory's. It's so good. It's got so many different flavors, sweet, spicy, a little bit of that sour tang. Oh, it's so good. And the textures, holy moly. Cheap, delicious, healthful vegetarian meal. I never thought I could be a vegetarian, but I could eat this every day, never eat meat again. I don't need it. We're good. Y'all try this. It'll be the best thing you've ever made. It's the best thing I've ever made. So I'm going to enjoy this. I'll see y'all later.